So if you'll recall, I made a parody video of CNBlue's 욑톨이야, and I called it 내노래야. If you don't understand Korean, 욑톨이야 just means I'm a loner. Nothing special about the name. 내노래야 means it's my song. It wasn't just a parody of CNBlue or their style or their song, even though it was a direct parody of their song. But the point of my song was as a satire of this controversy surrounding them about plagiarism. Basically, there's a group called Ynot, which wrote a song called 파랑새, which means bluebird, and there are some similarities. And in 내노래야, in the sidebar, which is no longer a sidebar because YouTube has a new screwed up interface, I provide a link to this documentary with subtitles about the whole plagiarism controversy. And so, 2 years after Ynot's song, CNBlue released 욑톨이야, and there were all these accusations of plagiarism. And Ynot is an indie rock band, and they have barely any fame, barely any popularity, whereas CNBlue gets to go on TV all the time. Actually, they started out with a career in Japan or something, even though they're Korean. And well, one thing that does put CNBlue above the rest of the pop groups is that they do play their own instruments. And I can't say that much for the guitarist, but the drummer can do a pretty good fast fill, so they're somewhat legit. They didn't write 욑톨이야, they had a songwriter who writes pop songs for pop groups. The problem isn't the plagiarism, whether or not it exists. It doesn't even matter. The problem is the lack of creativity and the lack of unique expression. The fact that so many people confuse this song as being plagiarism, whether or not it is, or found it to be so similar, is the problem itself. It's too similar to other things that exist. It doesn't do anything special. It doesn't try to. It just tries to jump on the bandwagon of these hook songs that immediately appeal to people. And the problem is the lack of creativity, and that's mostly what my song was about. I said K-pop sounds all the same. For the most part, that's kind of true. Before we start throwing around lawsuits about plagiarism and taking the songs to court, just try to write an original song. Now, for pop groups, that's impossible because they don't write their own songs, and most of them do nothing more than sing their own songs. And in real life, they may sing very poorly because at least they have all the mixers to make their voices sound better and use auto-tune and all that crap. Pretty much they're just sex symbols and performers. They dance and they wear skimpy clothing or whatever. That is the K-pop industry, for better or worse. Well, clearly for worse.